So, how do you manage hundreds of international students, all coming from different cultures, speaking different languages, and make it a calm, safe, and supportive place? Well, it seems like a huge challenge, right? But the answer isn't some crazy complex rulebook. It's actually a really simple, consistent blueprint. And that quote right there, it just nails the whole philosophy. We're going to follow the story of a teacher, Antonia, and her words really get to the heart of the SKOLA approach. It's all about one thing: consistency over complexity. It's about creating a predictable world where students can actually relax and thrive. All right, so here's our plan. We'll start by breaking down what this blueprint actually is. Then, we'll follow the story to see how it works day to day. From setting the tone in the morning to handling a real challenge, and even the power of recognizing good behavior. And we'll wrap up with the absolute non-negotiable bedrock of it all: keeping students safe. Okay, first up, the blueprint itself. This is really the central tool that makes everything else work. It's not some dusty policy file sitting on a shelf, it's a living document that basically defines the school's entire culture. And this slide gets right to it. It's a one-page culture. I mean, just imagine summarizing your entire approach to behavior on a single piece of paper. What that does is it makes sure every single adult is on the same page, using the same language, the same routines. This isn't just about rules, it's about taking the guesswork out of it for everyone, creating this feeling of safety where students and staff know exactly what to expect. So let's jump into the start of a typical day and see how this blueprint sets a predictable tone right from the moment students walk in the door. This is all about being proactive, not just reacting to problems. Antonia says her day always starts with routines. At 8:45 a.m., every student in the whole school has the exact same meet and greet. They line up, they're greeted calmly, and they head to class. For a new international student who might be feeling a little lost, that predictability is, as she says, an absolute lifesaver. It calms their anxiety and sends a clear message. You know what to expect here. You're safe. Next up is modeling. The science on this is pretty cool. Kids have these things called mirror neurons in their brains that basically copy the behavior they see around them. So if you want students to be calm and polite, well, the adults have to be the ultimate role models. Antonia talks about simple things like holding the door or using a calm voice. That small action models the exact culture she's trying to build. And all of this is built on these 3 super clear rules. It's not a 10-page document of don'ts, it's just 3 words that cover everything. Is a student prepared for the lesson? Well, they're being ready. Are they keeping their hands to themselves? That's being safe. And helping out a classmate? That's being kind. It's simple, it's direct, and it works everywhere. But of course, even in the most perfect environment, things can get a little wobbly. So what happens when a student gets frustrated and acts out? This is where the blueprint really shows its value, shifting from being proactive to providing a script for what to do in the moment. So here's the scene from Antonia's class. A student, Matteo, is getting super frustrated. He slams his whiteboard down and shoves his desk. Now, this is a moment that could easily blow up, turn into a shouting match, and disrupt the entire class. But it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't blow up is because the staff don't react with emotion. They follow a script, a pre-planned de-escalation routine. It starts with a calm observation. Step 1, I've noticed you seem frustrated. Step 2 is a gentle reminder if it's a pattern. Step 3, you state the specific rule that's being broken. And this is so important. Step 4, you recall something positive they've done before, which is just brilliant. And only then, step 5, do you offer them a clear choice to get back on track. And here you see it in action. First, Antonia does something smart. She gives her attention to the students who are doing the right thing. Then she redirects Matteo. She quietly reminds him that pushing a desk isn't safe and giving up isn't ready, and then she gives him a moment to choose. All the emotion is taken out of it, the boundary is crystal clear, and Matteo is able to calm himself down and get back to learning. But dealing with problems is only a tiny part of the story. The most powerful tool in this whole blueprint is actually about building on the positive. So let's check back in with Matteo's story. So later that same day, Antonia sees Matteo helping a younger kid. She doesn't just ignore it. She makes a point of recognizing it out loud and connects his action directly back to one of those core rules: kind. I mean, you can just picture him standing a little taller in that moment. And that's the whole point. It's not about random praise. It's a core behavior for the adults at SKOLA. Staff are literally trained to catch students doing the right thing. The thinking here is that this is way more effective at changing behavior long-term than any punishment, because you're actively reinforcing those positive pathways in the brain. So everything we've talked about, the routines, the rules, the recognition, all of it is built on one absolutely non-negotiable foundation. Because without a real sense of physical and psychological safety, none of the other stuff even matters. And that foundation is safeguarding. In the UK, safeguarding is a massive deal. It's a legal and a moral duty for anyone who works with kids. And this applies to every single student at SKOLA, even if they're only there for a 2-week summer course. It's the ultimate expression of that rule, be safe, and it's the bedrock of the entire system. For the staff, the whole procedure is boiled down into 4 simple steps, called the 4 R's, and this is their most important action plan. Their job isn't to be a detective or an investigator, it's simply to recognize, respond, record, and report. That's it. Now that response step has some golden rules, and probably the most important one is you never promise to keep a secret. If a child tells you something, you have to explain that you need to pass it on to a specific person whose job is to help. The information is kept confidential from everybody except that one key person. And that key person is the designated safeguarding lead, or the DSL. Every single staff member has to know who their DSL is. Their role is so simple. They are the messenger. They see something, they hear something concerning, and they report it immediately to the expert, the DSL, who then takes it from there. So as you can see, the SKOLA blueprint isn't just a list of rules. It's a complete cycle. It starts with predictable routines, it's supported by calm, scripted responses when things go sideways, and it's fueled by constantly looking for the good stuff. And all of it is built on that unwavering commitment to keeping kids safe. So it really leaves us with a powerful question, doesn't it? For any of us, in any environment, how can we use these simple principles to make our own spaces just a little more ready, safe, and kind?